You can also be a podcast guest. Really easy to do. So I've just realised I wasn't sharing my screen with anyone, was I? So I just share my screen with you for a second. We talked about transcribing your videos. We talked about turning your content into books. And we've talked about turning your videos into audio files so that they can become podcasts. Now this next bit, you do need to see the screen. Another way to gain more visibility, and this was one that I used in the early days when I said I came from corporate and had no public following. I wanted to get out in the public market. I had no marketing budget. I had no team of people. So I thought, why not just steal other people's audiences ethically? So what we did is, it was me to begin with, and then I hired Febby to help, back then I just went to Google and I typed in this very specific prompt, okay? It goes like this: is your target audience podcast, and then in square brackets, be a guest, okay? That's what you type into Google. Your target audience, podcast, and in square brackets, be a guest. What this will do is it will find every single podcast in that niche that actually has a page called Be a Guest, meaning they accept and are looking for people to come and be guests on their show. Now, some of these podcasts have genuinely spent years building up an audience. Some of them have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of downloads a month. So if you could get yourself one of those, you have just acquired that many eyeballs on you by being a guest speaker on that platform to an audience that somebody else has already built. So that's one way to do this. Go in and use that Google formula to go and find podcasts that you can present on. Now let's take this to another level. Let's bring this up to 2025. Who here has played with what's called ChatGPT Operator? Operator is the new big brother of ChatGPT. It is separate, and unfortunately it comes with this stinking price tag. You do have to have a ChatGPT Pro account to be able to get an Operator account, and it is $200 a month, I'm afraid to say. However, it's basically a full-time employee. Basically what I did this morning, and here's an example quite literally of it right now, is I typed into Operator here, find all the podcasts in the topic entrepreneurship, business, and speaking and course creation that have a Be a Guest page or accept guest speaker applications. Provide the podcast name and the link to the contact page or the email address. And what this did is it literally then goes and searches the internet for you. And here it is. It says you can now access it here. It's now created a Google Sheet with the contacts for me to go and contact. So it does the research on your behalf. Now, the next thing I would do with that is then whether you're going and collecting those manually using the Google search method, or you're getting AI to find those contacts of podcasts that you can present on for you. The next step, obviously, is to upload that to a CRM like Tekmatix, upload the CSV file that's been created, pop them all into a workflow, and make sure that workflow is sending out your expression of interest or your pitch to go and be a guest speaker on their show. Include what you want to talk about and a couple of learning outcomes that you'll provide, and set it to send them 6 monthly reminders if they haven't booked you in, so that it just sits there on autopilot, sending out your cold outreach for you, getting you consistently booked on podcasts. So that's another way that you can dramatically grow your visibility. Those podcasts are going to be out there forever. They are all more rings on the spider's web. The next one is to then make sure that you're getting yourself along to networking events, conferences, and speaking. If you want to grow your visibility, if you want to be seen as an authority in your field, there is no bigger, more impactful and faster way of doing that than being on a stage. The second your butt is on a stage, you are instantaneously pedestaled as an expert in that thing. It's a psychological consequence of being on the stage. You are already positioned to all of the people in that space as an authority in the thing that you are talking about. Now, there's lots of controversy in the industry as speakers around whether you should be doing this for free or getting paid. Now, I personally see speaking for free as marketing, and I will pick very carefully which kinds of events, what kinds of numbers, and what kind of partnership arrangements there are. If I speak for free, I have to know that actually will turn into paid business for me immediately, if not very shortly afterwards. So you do need to be considering your whole business model But I know for me that giving up 1 hour of my time to be in front of a room, I know I'm a great speaker. I can very confidently say that. It's not arrogance, it's 20 years of practice. I know that when I get on a stage, I can convince at least 20% of a room to come and buy something from me. I know that because I've done it time and repeatedly again. So I know for me that giving up 1 hour, literally just 60 minutes of my time to do something that I love, if you can't tell, I quite enjoy speaking, to get what would be way more return on investment than spending money on ads. For me, it actually is a very profitable marketing exercise. So just keep that in mind, which way you want to do it. Now, in these speaking gigs, you need to understand there needs to be a conversion. Yes, so remember, this is one of our steps in this whole becoming an expert authority model. We have to make sure the visibility is turning to conversions. So in every presentation I do, whether it's in person or online, I go to my Tekmatix account, I go to the QR code creator inside Tekmatix. Yes, you can create your QR codes inside Tekmatix. And I make sure that QR code that goes up on my big screen will take them to getting the slides for free or getting some special free bonuses from me. That for me is one of my regulatory requirements of speaking for free, is they better let me collect email addresses from the room. So what happens when people scan that QR code? They become a contact in my system, they get added to my nurture sequence, which converts them into sales. So very smart way to grow your visibility.